Hi, it's Lucy and I'm back with another episode of Magnificent Roots, a celebration of everything purpose. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about organisational purpose. And to do that, I thought I'd take you right back to the beginning of my career. I started off as a secondary school teacher doing the Teach First programme in its early days. And then after a couple of years, I moved into an education charity. Both of those experiences were incredibly meaningful and very much full of purpose. In fact, to the point that even if I thought I had a tough day ahead, which was often as a secondary school teacher teaching in North London, I was able to always jump out of bed really feeling like I had a sense of purpose and there was meaning in why I was going to work, and I felt needed. Like the work that I did was really, really important. That's what purpose does to employees. Helps them to really feel engaged and motivated. Again, in the charity sector, purpose was so important to the point that we actually recruited people on the basis of their alignment with the charity's purpose and mission. That's quite incredible, I think, and you don't see that often in the corporate world. When I moved into corporate, which was probably about 15 years ago now, I remember really loving the kind of intellectual rigour and feeling like I was learning a lot, doing different consulting projects, but I really missed that sense of purpose that united the team, that caused me to jump out of bed every morning like I did when I was working in the charity sector. But I really strongly believe that purpose does belong in every type of organisation. And actually, I think there's a huge opportunity for us to really discover purpose and then embed it and activate it into our teams, into our organisations, to help unlock those extra levels of motivation and excitement and engagement within your teams. Actually, that was part of the reason when in consulting I started a team called Better Banking, which was all about how we could help our financial services clients to generate more impact in an environmental and social purpose sense through the banking industry, through the insurance industry and so on. And that type of work gave me a lot of meaning in the sense of being a consultant. So I know those opportunities are out there. Why is purpose important then? Well, I've talked about how it can increase engagement levels and help teams to feel united. We actually know that generationally, it's even more important for young people. So in a survey that I was involved in a few years ago, we learned that 85% of 16 to 25-year-olds told us that purpose was something that they looked at when they're considering joining an employer. So that's a huge proportion. And we know that it's really important to millennials as well. And between those two generations, they're making up the majority of the global workforce now. So it's something really that every organisation should be paying attention to. The other thing we looked at when I was doing this research was actually in terms of purpose statements and their level of activation. So most organisations have a purpose statement, which is great. Actually, 2/3 of people that we asked told us that they were aware that their organisation had a clear purpose statement. And you've probably seen some of them. So here's a few well-known brands and organisations and their purpose statements. Fantastic. But what we also saw that not every organisation is always good at actually embedding and activating that purpose statement. So the research that we did actually revealed that only half of employees felt that their organisation was living true to that purpose statement in the sense of their internal practices like culture, behaviours and so on. And 1 in 3 people told us that actually they didn't think their organisation was doing anything at all to activate their purpose. So there's a huge opportunity there. Why is it that organisations then aren't activating their purpose? Well, I think there's a couple of things. One is, unfortunately, some people consider purpose to be a bit fluffy, but it's not at all. And actually, I believe there's an enormous opportunity here to embed purpose in every aspect of your organisation. So cultures, behaviours, your products, your services, everything that your organisation is doing. And I've actually created a little graphic that I hope is helpful to help you think about the internal and external aspects of your organisation and all the opportunities for embedding purpose. I'll be covering each of these areas in much more detail in a future video and providing some examples as well. In the meantime, I'd love to hear from you. Have you seen any organisations that are doing this really well? that have really taken the opportunity to embed purpose and are seeing the levels of engagement from their people, and they're seeing the value that they're creating externally beyond profit as well. I'd love to hear from you. See you soon. Bye.